Well, I like to say, like Chaka Khan say, I'm every woman. Sandra Myers is an entrepreneur. She is a wife, she's a mother, sister, she's a grandmother. And, and she's just, she's a creator. My childhood wasn't a very happy childhood, I like to say that. Actually, we're here on Greenfield Farm. What we call Greenfield Farm is a part of a property that my foreparents were slaves and sharecroppers on. And so growing up as a child, I came from a very poor family. I've always had to be a grown person, as far as I'm concerned. You know, I had siblings under me, and I had very young parents, and both worked in the fields as well. Well, of course, my dad was what they call the foreman over the black people that was working for Mr. Ross at that time. And so he got to drive the tractors and stuff. So we were supposedly a little higher than everybody else, but we were all the same. Greenfield Farm, as I mentioned earlier, is a part of my foreparents' history, a part of my family's history. Now, that's not what made me buy Greenfield Farm. The story behind buying Greenfield Farm was not initiated by me from the beginning. My husband wanted this property. This was property that, as a child, like I say, not this particular spot, but this spot is actually a part of a 600-acre plantation back during that time. When this part of the property became available in 1991, my husband came to me and said, listen, that property over there near where where y'all used to live when you were a kid is up for sale, and I want to purchase some. And I'm like, really? Why? Because for me, I didn't have very fond memories of living in this area, so I wasn't all that tuned up, about buying it. But his dream was to have a horse ranch. So when this land became available, and I said to him, okay, if that's what you want, then we'll go over and claim the property. And that's what we did. We came over, claimed the property, met with the gentleman that was selling the property at that time, which was Mr. William McLeod, and bought it. We bought 60 acres, and that's how we acquired Greenfield Farm. We just happened to have bought the same spot where my great-great-grandparents lived on when they were slaves here. When we bought the property, what we did was we said to the Lord that we wanted to be able to give back, that He has blessed us with the property, so we want to be able to give back in some kind of way. The very first event we did it to raise money for my church, and as a fundraiser. We just did a little community horse show. It wasn't even called a festival then, just a little community horse show. Then, of course, the next event we did to do a community show. Because kids would stay at the farm. They were not familiar with African Americans having horses. And so in the community, the children that were along with my kids would come down here all the time. And so my husband started taking time with them and teaching them how to ride and those things. And so what we would do, we started a little community event to show the parents what their children were doing, the ones who would allow their kids to do it. And we first call it an African American Cultural Festival, not Black Cowboy, but the African American Cultural Festival. And some people recognized it. Some people from Parks and Recreation, matter of fact, a young lady from Parks and Recreation came to me and said that she was very impressed with the show, and she says, why don't you give it a theme name? There's many African American cultural festivals. You need a theme name. She says, you're talking about Black cowboys. I mean, you're talking about African American cowboys, so why not name it what it is, which is a Black Cowboy Festival. Our research on Black cowboys, because that's what Mark was doing. He was relaying that knowledge to people, even when it was not called the Black Cowboy Festival. And so all of that came in together, and now it's Black Cowboy Festival. So for, I think I want to say our 4th year into doing this event, we renamed it the Black Cowboy Festival. In doing the Black Cowboy Festival and bringing that history to the community, it's not been an easy job. It's not been easy at all. It's been hard, very costly, not being able to get funding. We developed a nonprofit organization in hopes that would help us to get funding. And the name is the Black Cultural Enlightenment Society. And so the Black Cultural Enlightenment Society, what it does is, what our goal was and still is, and we do, is create resources for our community in learning about who we are as African Americans and the heritage of the African American cowboy and what he did and how much he brought to the American West, in building American West. And so, in doing all those things and coming up with materials and books and everything that we need, entertainment, everything that we need to create this festival with, has been very, very, very costly. And so not having people on board, we've asked for help, we've asked for donations, we have a nonprofit, and it's just like anything else, if people would believed in us enough to donate some funds to help us continue this event. Because my husband and I would take the monies out of our pockets and do this event every year. We sacrifice to do that, in hopes that the people will come through the gates to replenish that. And that didn't always happen. And so it's been very stressful, it's been very painful, it's been a lot of hard work, but we couldn't give up. And if you had told me back in 1996, 97 actually, that I would be still doing this event today, 25 years later, I would have said then, I don't know. If you had said that it would have grown to the magnitude that it's grown to, I could never imagine that. But it has, so it has to be anointed by God. It has to be a calling. It had to be a calling on our life for it to still be in existence today.